It's kind of a long story, I guess, but it kind of starts with my college major. I was an ed major in college, and I originally started as a business major, and I got through my first year as a business major, and absolutely hated it. I was decent at it, but I didn't like it, and just going into my second year of school, and my dad was asking me, well, what else could you do, or what else do you like? And I was like, well, I like soccer. And he's like, well, you got to pick something major, and you can't do that. So I started doing a little bit of coaching at the time with my old club and just helping out some camps and stuff like that. And that was fun. And so we were talking about that, and he was kind of like, oh, well, teaching is kind of like coaching. Maybe you should try teaching. And so I switched my major. I became a middle school education teacher. And then one of my field placements, I think my first field placement was in like a kindergarten or like a first grade or something like that. And the first day I was there, I was like, man, I could do this the rest of my life. This is awesome. I love it. And so I really loved being an ed major. And then when I was coming out and going to graduate from college, obviously love soccer and being around the game. And so I was trying to think of, how I can kind of continue my ed path, but also maybe stick around soccer just a little bit longer. And so the thought was to maybe go be a GA or something like that, get a master's degree, help with the team, and then I'd, get it out of my system and go, go teach and stuff like that. So I ended up getting hired at Mount Union, and absolutely loved it. Loved coaching, loved being with the guys. It was perfect fit. And so, I kind of think of myself as like a teacher, but I'm just teaching my favorite subject. And so yeah, I just love being around guys. I love shaping and molding guys of that age, guys that that are really serious about soccer, and I couldn't think of doing anything else. So yeah, it's been really short so far, only been a few months and stuff, but I would say two things. I think first thing is definitely just working with the guys and starting to put our culture in place, and just seeing them grow as young men, seeing them improve on the field and some of the things that we've been speaking about, and just starting like the early stages of the process. I think that's been really cool, and getting to know them. And probably the other thing is teaching class. Actually, I've had some fun. I've had weight training, and I've had an indoor soccer class, and just getting to know like the regular students, and just some like really neat kids and stuff. So that's been fun too. So most influential person in my career, I would probably say probably two people, but definitely the biggest one would be my dad. I've had my dad as a coach. He was involved with like my little league soccer stuff, baseball, basketball. So I spent a lot of time playing with him, being coached by him, stuff like that. And he really taught me a lot about work ethic, about being a good teammate, about being encouraging and positive towards other people. So that's probably my biggest influence for sure. But another one would be the first head coach that I worked under. I guess the only head coach I worked under, I suppose, at Mount Union, Nick Sturrett. I think he's now over at Oregon State coaching women's soccer, but he taught me a lot, like as a young college coach as well, about running a program and all that takes. So definitely those two. Sports, while I was growing up, I feel like it was probably a little bit less commercialized. Like there wasn't quite all of the money in it that there is now. I think I think it was starting to become that maybe, but it's like the business of it, I think, is really blown up. I think so maybe back then it was maybe slightly more pure, perhaps. I think like social media has really changed everything too, and now there's a lot with like developing your brand as an athlete, and I think as well there's a lot of backlash, and everybody on social media thinks they could have done it better than LeBron did at last game or whatever. So I think that's posed a lot of challenges and stuff like that. So but yeah, I think it was more simple back when I was a kid and stuff, and a little bit more pure, and but yeah, it's just my take. Most memorable, gosh, I feel like I've been in a lot of cool things, both like coaching and spectating and playing, I guess, as well. But One thing that comes to mind is definitely when I was at Mount Union previously. This probably would have been like 2017 or something like that. So I started at the program, and we weren't so hot when I first started, and we were kind of slowly getting a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. But we'd really probably until that year never really beaten like a really good team, like a top 25 type team. Always been like kind of close or competitive, but not really quite there. And that season we started to do that. And I remember playing Capital at our place. Capital has a really good program. Alan Yost down there has done a great job in the NCAA tournament a lot. And so we were playing them, and it was a big game. And I think we had to win to keep our hope, I think, alive of getting in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. So we're playing the game. It's a competitive game. It's pretty tight. We end up scoring on ourselves, actually, like a little bit before halftime, which was a total buzzkill. And I remember going into halftime and just walking in the locker room and just saying, like, we're gonna win. Like there is no other option. Like we're gonna win. Like get it in your head right now. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. We have to. And all the guys were really bought into that. And then we came out in the second half, and about 20 minutes in, we're playing really well. I think the guys really understood and were fired up to try and claw back in it. And one of our guys scored an awesome goal, and I can still like see him in my mind. Like he ran over the side and did a knee slide and was like screaming, and it was crazy. So we tied up the game, and everybody's pumped. And then like 5 or 10 minutes later, we got a red card. So then we're playing with less guys. But we just kept going, and just found I think like a scrappy goal on a header like towards the end of the game, and just held on to win. And all the guys were just so pumped, because like I said, we'd never really could beat teams like that. And just seeing them celebrate and going in the locker room after the game, and we always had this tradition where if we won a game, for whatever reason, the guys like playing Mumbo number 5 in the locker room. So they put on Mumbo number 5, and everybody was like on top of the benches, like dancing and screaming. And that's one of my favorite things as a coach, just sit in the locker room after a big win and everybody work their butts off and just see it come together, and just to see everyone so happy. And that's definitely one of my favorite moments for sure. Gosh, one thing nobody knows about me. Maybe I would say maybe that I enjoy dancing. It's kind of like golf, probably. Like I'm not very good at it, but it's fun to play, kind of thing. So I enjoy doing it. But I think on the whole, probably people that I coach would be surprised by that, because I think typically, really trying to push them and on them and serious and stuff like that. So I think probably to think of me dancing is probably a little odd, but I come from a big family, and it's like when we go to weddings and stuff like that, everyone's crazy and all that. So it's a lot of fun, but yeah.